Welcome back to everyone's favorite podcast. This is my first female guest for all the ladies out there that have been wondering where the women are. They're right here at the Root Bar.
Welcome to the least misogynistic podcast being recorded here tonight.
Yes. Definitely not the only podcast, though. This is Katie Hughes. We met like 4 or 5 weeks ago, or maybe 8 weeks ago, for the first time.
That's right.
I cried.
I made her cry
in front of you the first time we met, and I was like, sorry about that. So I feel like we're automatically, super close.
That's right.
I just
immediately very close.
You said something, I thought you were one of those weird comedians, and then later on I cried, and I was like, I guess you were right. I guess I am one of those weird comedians. But let's see, I have things written down because I am a real podcaster.
Ooh.
So I feel like everything turns back into high school eventually. And comedy is kind of like the Outcasts. That's where all of those are. But it turns back into high school within the Outcasts.
Yeah.
And so how long have you been doing comedy? Sorry, I don't.
Oh, no, that's okay. I probably like around 10 years because it's hard to count the quarantine. And then there's a few times when I quit comedy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Why did you quit?
Because I wasn't seeing progress because I wasn't working very hard.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, screw this. And I did like improv and sketch comedy in Chicago. So I guess I was doing comedy, but not like stand up.
Yeah.
But like when I moved to Atlanta, I feel like I started doing it like every night or as often as I could at least.
Right.
So I would say 7 years seriously and then like 10 years probably total.
Okay, cool. Still a lot.
A lot. So much.
Hella time. But so I feel like maybe you would have a better sense of like how to avoid getting caught in the high school clique trap of what everything ends up being, which is just, I feel like a lot of I don't know, like a lot of patronizing stuff, a lot of like be nice to this person or else, or that kind of stuff. And just like avoiding, I don't know, the pitfalls of either getting in cliques, because I think there's obviously good cliques and bad cliques, like there's better ones to be in, but I think it's all kind of dumb in a way, because it's just like it's anti-productive, whatever that word is.
Counterproductive.
Yeah,
it is counterproductive. I think I personally am a very big homebody, so like I would rather be at home than out doing, like I would rather be doing comedy and then just be at home.
Yeah.
So like the hang for me was never like something that was paramount, and I feel like people who are good at the hang or good at networking get further.
Yeah.
But then there's some people who are good at like producing shows, and so like those aren't necessarily going to be the best comedians in town, but you do have to like, I don't know if it's like patronizing is the right word, but like kind of pay your respect to them, you know what I mean? So I think there's some of that, which I feel like in high school I didn't really do. I was not like vying for the popular group. I would say the most.
What were you like in high school? The people want to know.
The people want to know.
This will be my most viewed podcast for sure.
Ooh. Yeah. I think the thing that sums it up is that 30 Rock episode where Liz Lemon goes back and she thinks everybody hated her and she was a loser, but it turns out she was really mean, but she thought she was funny.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was
pretty
was you? Close. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I had a little group of friends, and then like a bigger circle of friends, I guess, within that. But like, I don't know.
Did you play sports?
I did cross country.
Cross country, okay.
Which was like, I guess, like a social thing because I was not good at it, but I liked the bus rides and the fun part. Like we got to go to the Asheville Mall when it had a food court, and we go to Sbarro. Oh, yeah. Totally worth it.
Oh yeah, some Sbarro pizza.
But same thing with like going to youth group. It was like very much for the social aspect.
Yeah.
Even if it was like you didn't want to hang out with those people, you're like,
or Jesus, you didn't want to hang out with Jesus. You're just like, well,
no,
have food and
there's pizza.
Other people there.
Yeah. If there's pizza, I will go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got like in the yearbook I got like wittiest or something because they got rid of class clown, and it was me and a guy I would have considered my arch nemesis. Nice. So clearly got yeah. Slytherin house all the way.
Me too.
Yeah.
I was voted most likely to succeed.
Ooh.
So I think I'm gonna make it in comedy.
I think you are.
I'm sure that's what they meant.
Well, what kind of high school were you like in high school? Like studious?
I was.
Or were you ambitious?
I guess so. I was valedictorian, and like I went to a good high school. It was like a secondary college program.
Mm-hmm.
So like I was definitely like I applied myself.
Okay.
But I think once I got to college, I was like, uh-oh.
You were most likely to succeed out of children, but then you got older and you're like, oh, maybe not out of adults.
Yeah, and also like I had a single mom, so it's like, oh, you're so special. He didn't leave because of you, you know? And so like I have that whole like, you're special, and then I go out into the world and I'm like, no one's really that special.
No.
In all actuality, which is why cliques are dumb, because everyone is on the same, like, if you want to get spiritual with it, we're all fucking the same thing. It's just like different iterations. And so I think it's kind of
also none of it matters. Yeah. That's the thing. It's like, also we were talking about this weekend because I was in Atlanta visiting, and like Atlanta used to be like notorious for like its online drama.
Mm-hmm.
Like whatever would be in like the Facebook group would like be out, like people in Denver would be like, I heard about this weird thing. Like there was an infamous Reddit post from Atlanta where it was like, Atlanta says they're inclusive, but it's nothing but cliques. And I don't think it really is. I think it's people who are good at comedy and people who are not good at comedy.
Right.
And once you get good at comedy, you get to be in that clique. Yeah. And now you go, there's no cliques.
Right.
That's
right.
it. That's all there is to it.
Right.
But yeah, I guess there's like little, pockets of people who, only do shows outside of Atlanta versus inside like the city. So I don't know. Like, I just don't know like a ton of people who don't do it at all the same places I do. So I'm sure there's other cliques, but it doesn't feel exclusive.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same everywhere, obviously, because you're in Atlanta, and then it's the same in Asheville and Greenville, because I go to both. And it's just like, it's funny to see, because there's also like a little feud or whatever between Asheville and Greenville. And so like, it's funny to see that like, they're the same, like just going to each one. It's like, you guys are mad at each other, but you're literally the exact, I don't know, everyone's funny. Not everyone is funny. Like, I don't know why we have to pretend like that is
y'all don't be saying people are nice.
People are so nice here.
Yeah.
People are nice.
I know them. They're so nice.
Yeah.
They're so nice. Oh, nicest guy or gal.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. I feel like you still have to pay the compliment.
And it's also like, it's not, I don't know. It doesn't matter if everyone's funny either. So it's like, I don't want to get too caught up in just like giving too much of a fuck, because I shouldn't. But also, I do.
I think it matters if everyone on a show is funny, as opposed to everyone on a mic or in the scene is funny.
Right.
So I think that's where people should, like, I guess, focus their energy.
Right.
Because it's like, well, I mean, what are you coming out every night for, if not to get better at comedy?
Right.
But I guess, I mean, like, that's the thing about a bigger scene like Atlanta. Like, there are a ton of people who are just there for the social aspect. And to me, that doesn't make sense, because comedy is so full of, like, heartache.
Yeah.
That you get off stage and you don't feel good. It's like, why would I want to socialize?
Right.
But people, like, I guess don't have a perception of themselves that's as negative as me. So they'll get off stage and be like, can't wait to hang with my boys.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, I like the hang. I'm definitely not anti-hang. I do like being at home too, but
I like to hang with the people I want to hang with.
Right. Yeah. That's
with the force, like, we have to be here.
Yeah.
You got to hang out if you want to get the spot. And I guess that's fair. Like, you should support the show or the venue.
Yeah.
But like, that is, a little, like, a lot to ask.
Yeah.
To hang out all the time.
When I first started, like, for the first 6 months, I stayed to the end of every mic I went to.
Ooh.
I was like, oh, I know about fucking, like, I don't know, taxes. Like, I know I gotta fucking pay up somehow. And I'm not that funny, so I'm gonna fucking at least be here. Okay, more next topic.
Okay. And the podcast starts now.
You're right. Yeah, I'm probably gonna cut all that out. I'm just gonna leave it. Greenville is bad.
You know what? Everybody there sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody there, so I feel like you could be talking about anyone.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, in a way, I'm talking about myself and everyone and no one at the same time.
Are you from Greenville?
Not from there. I just moved there. So I'm not from anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah. I had to fill out a don't tell thing, and it didn't have a Greenville thing, so I filled out Asheville. So I think I'm from Asheville.
Okay, legally. Yeah,
legally
don't tell comedy is legally binding.
Yeah. So have you seen the movie The Menu?
I love that movie.
Yeah, I thought you seemed like a girl that would like sorry to assume
I'm 100 years older than you. Don't worry. An old gal like you.
I feel like you would like. I don't know. I liked it's not campy, but it's kind of like this is the point, and then this is the point even more, and then this is the. Do you get the point of the movie yet? But I kind of like that.
It's just as somebody who's worked in the food service industry, I'm like, yes.
Right.
Like any service industry really, where you have like, I guess like the parallels in comedies, like the people who review comedy who've never done comedy, or the people who, pick these people to review.
Or the audience members that give you tips afterward that have never done public speaking. I'm like, thank you so much.
Oh my gosh. That's great. I love it. Or the audience members that think that they're very funny and want to talk to you after the show.
Mm-hmm.
Or the one here last week who was trying to pick up somebody for a third.
Oh yeah, that was very scary.
Hey, our Uber's here and there's an extra seat.
We're all just closing the circle. Like, all right, bye. Yeah. Have you seen? Okay, this is also a movie podcast. Have you seen the Vengeance trilogy? It's a Korean movie trilogy. It's by Soo-won Park, I think.
Mm-mm.
I feel like you would like those movies because it's also kind of here's the point again. Kind of beats the point into the ground, but it's the whole trilogy is about vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
I personally am a big fan of vengeance. I don't know how you feel about vengeance. What are your thoughts on vengeance?
I think
justified anger and pain, I guess.
I think in my heart, I always go, I want to get revenge. But then I go, is it worth whatever hassle or whatever bad vibes come back after it? No.
Right. Yeah.
So I am a vengeance seeking. I desire vengeance.
Right.
I don't ever attain or attempt to avenge. Yeah, I don't avenge. Yeah. I don't venge. There's no revenge. There's no revenge.
Yeah.
What about you? Do you get vengeance?
No, I guess not. I don't know. I feel like sometimes because I have a I don't know, a lot of pain inside. And so sometimes I'll forget that it's not that person's fault, and a little bit of the pain will come out, and I'll be like, oh, sorry, didn't mean to get that pain all over you.
Yeah.
That's not your burden. But I try to mostly be very empathetic and think about how something makes someone. That's true. And I feel like I try to be honest but nice or whatever that is, but sometimes it comes out just kind of just rude and crazy, but I don't realize it until way after the fact, and then I'm like, oh, my words can affect people. So I guess that's my vengeance. I'm not trying to, but sometimes I accidentally feel like I dose it out on accident.
Interesting. Well, I feel like I'm somebody who will have a conversation 100 times in my head so that I know what I want to say when it happens, and it never quite comes out right.
Yeah.
But I guess that is a tricky water to navigate with someone you're dating who I don't know if you know well or not.
Not well.
Well, yeah, but also you can't put any of their shit on you. You know what I mean? How could it be your fault? You just met them.
Right, exactly. It's not, but it's also I made jokes about it, and the whole night.
No.
And I was like, oh, sorry. Does this make you feel better? I don't know. I'm bad at this. But he knew, he knows I do comedy. Knew I did comedy. Was into me from comedy. So I'm like, you kind of knew what you're getting into. So sorry that I'm not well adjusted and like good at anything. But I feel like you should have like put 2 and 2 together.
Oh man, because my fear now is that you're going to be murdered.
No, this guy is actually really nice. So it's kind of wild,
oh nice,
you know?
Yeah,
he's like I don't know, he's really cool.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
This is not getting published, but it was really nice hanging out with you.
I know. This podcast is honestly just an excuse to like hang out with cooler people than me. So that's really all
They've
I
never
wanted.
Been published.
Yeah, I actually don't even
That's
have a
so
YouTube,
funny.
and I've never done comedy.
I don't know.
Sometimes being mean is funny. Also, can we talk about that?
I love being mean.
Okay,
mean is the funniest thing you can be.
You reposted something about talking shit. Sarah Silverman, yes, and she's like, it doesn't matter, blah blah blah, right?
Yeah.
And I watched the whole thing, and I was like, honestly, talking shit is only fun when you're with someone that knows what talking shit is. Because it's really never usually about the person. Like, sometimes, yeah, the person sucks. But sometimes it's just like, I just want to get this out. And, like, get it over with, and then, like, move on. And it's fun to do it with your friends.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. I feel like some people think everyone means everything they say, and especially with being comedians, I'm like, how can you think that? I barely mean anything that I've ever said ever.
I can't remember what I said, so I hope I didn't say anything bad.
Right,
but,
exactly.
Like, that is one reason I stopped drinking. One was that I could do better at comedy, but I felt like when I was talking shit when I would drink, I was like, I would wake up and be like, I said some terrible things. And I'll say them sober, but I'll be like, at least I'm in control of like the limiter of whatever's going to be said. Because I don't mean it. That's the thing. But if somebody found out I said it, my feelings would be hurt that they would think that I thought that about them.
Right.
When it really is mostly just being silly and like.
Right. And it's like what the little video you said or reposted was saying, like, it's usually about the person. Like, you're usually projecting. Like, everyone is usually projecting.
Oh, when I talk shit about somebody's act, I'm like, I just want the validation that I am not doing that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
like,
exactly.
I can't believe they did the same joke 100 times. It's like, but I don't, right?
Right, exactly. But you guys like it when I redo my jokes to work on them, you know? Like,
right, guys?
But yeah, I just think talking shit is honestly one of my favorite parts of like comedy or whatever. It's like of life, just because it's like, I don't know, it's like the release of the talking shit is kind of the same thing that I get from like going to comedy, seeing comedy, all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, it's getting the laughs. Like, because that is what you're doing it for. It's like a roast for your personal friend group.
Yeah.
And I guess that is why I wanted to do, like, get the root of things, why I thought I was funny is because I enjoyed laughing with my friends so much. And I think that is a hard skill to hone and recreate weekly. Mm-hmm. But, that's why
people are already tired of me. Like, I've not even been doing it a year, and I literally can feel my friends just being like, Jesus Christ, like, this again?
I had one friend, and it would drive me crazy because I would always talk about her on stage. She didn't do comedy, but she was just so ridiculous. And then she'd be like, I basically write all your jokes for you. And I knew that she was like kind of teasing, but I fucking and we're not friends anymore.
I'm sure that's what my friend Jade that got hit by a car thinks, but I give her all the credit. I'm like, listen, this is your fame. If I get famous, I'm bringing you with me.
I'm rolling you around.
Rolling you around with me for the rest of my life.
What are your opinions on, because I know you put clips up, and there's a couple other comics who put clips up, like, that have been doing it for like a year or whatever from mics. Like, do you feel like putting that out there, being there forever, is like, because you were talking about like somebody getting mad about one of your clips. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like that's a detriment as like a young comic? Because like we didn't have those skills when I started.
So because I used to like put clips, lots of clips, and I archived all my clips, and I was like, haha, no one can see my clips no more.
Yeah.
And I have a YouTube that has like long, like 5-minute, 10-minute sets that I've done, mm-hmm. which it's mostly more for like that I have the record of it. That's kind of like why I like it.
Yeah.
But I think with the reels, it's like, it's good to a point because it's like, it's your Instagram. You should express yourself. If this is your life, like, I think that reels are a good way to like, I don't know, like, I did a mic, I put a reel up, like, I'm working towards it, whatever. Like, I think it's like that aspect of it is good, but then it being the internet and being there forever, and it's also like all of my jokes in 5 years, I hope that I'm not doing them. So
you take them down or whatever, yeah.
But like I've heard people say like that have been doing comedy for longer, like the anti clips or like more long form comedy, because it is kind of like, you know, when people do like leak someone's set, it's like it kind of ruins it because you need to be in the room.
Yeah.
And so I don't like the aspect of how clips are like kind of making comedy like, oh, it's like cool, but it's like it's only cool if you're there. Like watching a comedy clip on Instagram is like not like,
it seems so lame, right? Like
it's lame as fuck. And I like, because I get the expressing yourself aspect, and I'm like, yeah, do that, like express yourself. That's the whole point of all of this, is to like live our truths or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, is it making comedy as a whole better? I don't think so. I don't think so, because it's like,
there's something the way you feel when you're on stage, and like I think that's how you know that you're getting good at comedy, is like if you're having fun like every time, and like set is being your authentic self, or you're not like struggling to like whatever. But then I watch the clips back and I'm like, this doesn't feel like anything. It never feels as good, so I'm always like, who needs it, you know?
Right. Yeah, I think I like the like system of comedy where it's like you work on something and you like until you like it, and then you put it out, and then you work on. I like that aspect of it, because I think the whole thing is like like we're not trying to make a point, but like the point is to tell whatever comedy, joke, story, whatever you're doing, and it connects with people, and people feel less alone. Hey girl, you want to come say hey? I was like, where are they? It's cold out here. It is cold. I'll see you in a second. Okay.
Once we start recording, it'll be great.
I know. What if it's been turned off this whole time? That would be great. I would love that. I'd be like, all right.
Oh, my phone would not be able to hold any of this. It's got no memory. So
I got the iCloud, the 2 terabytes. Ooh. I'm committed to comedy. You are committed.
I need to commit
an
more.
Extra $9.99 a month. But
I guess that's a good way.